going to start this a little bit earlier. Me and Masao just went on about
we just go on the whole time right about Soul Eater, as always. Don't know how that sounded, but you know.
I don't even know what started it. But oh my gosh, yeah. When that thing is on the list. When on God's green earth it'll happen, I don't know because I want to read the manga first. But Soul Eater is there. It is purely planted.
We're putting a huge pin in it.
Oh yeah, just
it'll probably be like 2 years down the road or something.
It'll be a while because again I want to read the mangas and you want to hear me every episode bitch about how much I don't like Black Star.
Okay, fair. But he's a lot better than Deathbake.
Hey, you don't disrespect.
Okay, that one episode when they're taking a test, though.
Okay, that
one episode when they're taking a test is good reason we'll have to fight about Deathbake being weird.
He is weird, but anyway, on to this. So one thing that I will say that I don't think we've given enough credit to this show to is wow, that intro song is really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
There's not a bad song in this entire show. And I mean, go ahead.
The music in the show is absolutely incredible.
Like all of them are 10s.
Yeah.
Like even in the animes I like, they're always one that's kind of These are all 10s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of ridiculous. I forget just how freaking amazing that intro is until I hear it again. And then I'm just like, this is beautiful. It builds so well. And yeah, so when I looked up the watch order for this, I was thoroughly confused as to why they made an OVA and plopped it exactly. Every watch order I've seen puts this at exactly between episode 4 and 5. Off the top of my head, do not remember what those episodes are. But I do know that that's after the teacher, she graduates from that writing class.
Yeah.
Because later in the episode, you hear that this guy got the recommendation from her. But I can tell you they had to do it this way because they could not have this episode happen after the show. Because the entire episode is centered around Violet trying to write a love letter.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what I love you means.
I can tell you exactly why they placed this special where it is. Because episode 5 is where she writes the letter for the prince and the princess from the 2 different nations.
Oh, right. When they were getting married.
Okay. That definitely does help. But yeah, there's that there. And then the I love you thing. This was the most I love you centered episode in the entire show outside of the ending.
Yeah.
And her understanding what I love you meant would make this episode not be a thing. It would have just been like, all right, we're going to nail it right off the start. But yeah, this was the most... There's always a mystery, kind of like a little hidden detail of why Violet doesn't nail the letter right away. This was the longest one for what it takes for her to figure out a letter. Because she didn't get... The assignment wasn't properly understood by the Postal Service. And they aren't exactly being honest with her either. This is the first one where I don't blame Violet for why she's not understanding how to write this letter.
Yeah, especially oh god, what's her name? Gave her like little to no context. Didn't like say what she want. Like,
yeah, because
she's like right, and I'm like, she needs input on what to write about.
Exactly, and it's one of the things where this is the first person who I think completely misunderstood what an auto memories doll is. They are not meant to come up with. They are meant to adapt and translate.
Yeah.
You give them the feelings, they make it good. They are not a writer. They are an editor, essentially. Give or take, they're still writing it, but they are essentially an editor. That's all they really are. You don't give an editor the plot of a movie and go, here, make a blockbuster. You want to see an editor break down and cry? That is exactly what would happen. Take it from a guy who is an editor of a fan fiction. I would start hyperventilating. I can give you plot points, but I can't do the in-between. That's not what I do. But yeah, Anyway, so again, they come up with another situation that they haven't quite exactly done. It's an opera singer who wants her to write the love letter that is going to be read aloud. That is also a song for the new show that she's writing about. Hold on. About this letter to a person who is away at war and they haven't got it back yet. But she's not being honest with them that it's actually about her writing a letter to her person who's away at war because she uses an alias for herself and the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Very similar.
There are layers.
Yeah. And it's one of those, Mike knows this about me. I am not my biggest thing that I want to punch a television screen every time it is used as a plot device is, listen, these two people in this conversation would not be beating around the bush, and they would just be having this conversation like normal people and not speaking in code words. But the audience is watching, so we can't talk like normal people because otherwise the audience would know what the plot was right away. So we need to be secretive about it. Here, they don't exactly do that because she doesn't want to admit to people that she's talking like this. There's a big hullabaloo about her and the stage manager, who we find out is her love interest's father, not having a big thing. And she doesn't want her own feelings put into it. So she lies that it's not about her. That to me is the best way and an actual good way to do the thing that I normally don't like. They found a good way to do it. I'll give them credit because normally no one does that well. Outside of this, I can't think of a one.
there was a point before it was actually revealed that when Aldo said, like, come on, you have to give this up. You have to give this up. I thought he was talking about something else, like this opera was like her last performance for something. Like,
I thought that she had some terminal illness and she needed to get this done so she could perform it before she died.
That's what I was thinking.
And I thought something completely different because he kept saying, like, I want to talk to you. I thought there was like something between them.
That was a possibility too.
That was like my first assumption, like, okay, there's like something between them that they gotta address, type of thing, not knowing the full context.
There you go.
And like point. given the sort of nature of this show, any of those would have been
possible.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Any and all relationships they're fine with. And it was like they weren't clear with ages on stuff either. So
yeah, that's where I just saw like they were like maybe they had feelings or like they were, but they stopped. They want,
Yeah. But yeah, and I loved so much that they're all like, I don't know how to write song lyrics. So they literally just have a writing session. I can't think of the delivery boy's name.
Benedict.
Benedict. Loved him so much in that scene.
He comes up with the most.
He's like, it's my best work, boy.
It's the most mid-2000s emo boy band lyric ever. And then for whatever reason, he turned into a surfer. Those words are from the heart, man.
Like, yo, my best work, man.
And then all three of the women, I just love everyone but Violet that was reading this is like, this is terrible. What are you guys doing?
It's like, I like it.
The Violet's like, I will take them all into consideration because I can't be mean and I don't know what love is. So I don't know if this is
and you know the help I can get.
Exactly. Oh, it was fantastic. That was so good. I was like, that was the first like team writing letter that they had. And like the scene where Iris Monica walk in and she just like a dog that did a bad thing has her head in the corner. I don't get it. She feels like she's being a disobedient pet because she doesn't know how to do her assignment. I felt so bad for her.
It's one of those scenes you shouldn't be laughing at, but at the same time, it's
no. Exactly.
You're laughing, but you feel horrible for laughing.
It is, because it's like your brain doesn't know what to process. Like, you know exactly what's happening, but the fact that you have to somehow mentally math how the person got there, and you start laughing because you know what they're doing, but that person shouldn't be doing it. And then Iris and her just like, "Are you?
You got
okay?
Are you good?
Like, what's? I can't do my check. Like, I never heard you complain about anything. What's wrong?" And then they all tell her, and for once, everyone was like, "No, you're completely right. What? Like, girl, what is going on?" And yeah, so they're just like, "Well, good team effort. We know the right that they get through all of that, and then again, Violet not knowing. This is the best version of the person doesn't know how to do life. I think my favorite version of that ever has been Violet. Because she's just she is the pure definition of a cinnamon roll, in my opinion. Like, that term, it's just Violet. She is the most innocent thing I've ever seen.
Where she's literally following her
home. She's like, "I need to understand you better. I'm sorry. This is creepy. I'm sorry." Then she runs.
Finish my mission, damn it.
She need to finish my mission. She runs. She's like, "Don't you ever get tired?" "I ran for 20 miles, fully equipped with battle equipment." "Oh, so you were in the army?" "Yes."
No shit.
Like, she doesn't even say she had military training. She's just like, "I ran in Philip Fatigues for 20 miles." "Oh, so you were in the army?" Oh, yes, I was.
Yeah.
And then, like, you get a little bit of again, going back to the major, it's like, "Oh, so he came home." No.
I don't know shit.
Till movies come out, I don't know. Yeah, and then she finally gets it after Roland, who basically had like 2 scenes in the series having her help him deliver letters, takes to that outpost, just like, "Yeah, nobody got these, send her," or whatever. I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. No, that would totally be there." She shows up at the place where she's like, "I don't know if I can complete my assignment." The next day, here's a stack of like,
here you go. I understood the assignment.
Tell me if these work. She's like, "That's like 200 more than what we needed." And then she starts crying. She finally nailed it. So good.
And then we actually get to hear the song, obviously in Japanese, because I'm pretty sure like the dub actors were like, "We're not going to try to butcher this."
No, it would not have sounded good.
Animes do that. Like, if the song's in like Japanese, they just leave it, or if it's in English, just have the English version in it.
And it is better that way.
The one example that didn't do that and did it wrong was the second episode of Star Wars Visions had Joseph Gordon-Levitt singing one of the songs, and it did not work.
Yeah, that's not good. Like, Joseph's a talented singer.
He is, and
it's just.
I think it just got lost in translation.
And
whereas
go ahead.
Whereas the best example of this is the movie Belle. They got a really good voice actor to do the singing and
good
speaking.
music, good animation. Like, after a certain point, like the ending, it threw me off how they ended it with that twist.
I'll still get there. That one's on the list as well in the movie section. Yes. But yeah, that's
absolutely on the list.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I want to see the process behind the scene. Like, is there the recording of it in English? And then they're like, "We're going with that one." It's kind of like the thing where, you know how we got to see Ugly Sonic,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden in the end credits, Tails shows up. There's always this part in my brain where I'm like, Is there a version of Ugly Tales we never got to see because he was only in the end credits? I kind of want to see the ugly version of Tails. like they got to go. Nope, we fixed Sonic. We're fixing him.
You just asked the internet for something very dangerous, and I don't know how to respond to this.
Hey man, they put ugly Sonic.
I got some better
in that movie.
Ugly Knuckles.
Ugly.
Could Knuckles do no do it?
You know what? He probably would look something like that, but with fur.
You got it, Knuckles.
But anyway, back to the movie. Okay, so yeah, it was just really good. This is what makes me wonder, because again, I haven't read the light novel. It kind of makes me wonder where if this was just a later story that the guy wrote that wasn't in the main story, or if like the people that actually made the adaptation were like, we came up with an idea.
Unless
we want to make
unless it was in the novel and it got cut to be OVA type of thing.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe it's just like this is the first time where, again, watching these shows where it's like where I've had an OVA that wasn't after the series or directly before it. It was smack in between two very obvious episodes, and it wasn't like a plot deciding moment. This was a thing that if you didn't know it existed, the show wouldn't be hindered.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle of it. That's the thing that's really weird about this one. Like Kill la Kill, I have the flippin' Blu-ray, and I just found out it's got an OVA. It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and it's got an OVA that happens way after, or not way after, like a few weeks or something after. And like some ridiculous crap happens in it. I just saw the main character do something with a weapon that is not in the show, and I'm like, where was that? And then it was in an AMV, and then I'm like, oh, it's in an OVA, and it's like it wouldn't affect it, so they just made an extra thing with the Blu-ray release, which is what normally happens. But this is Netflix, so they didn't have that. So I just kind of wonder, and I'll never get the answer, but yeah, this was really good. I will never be upset seeing a Kyoto animation ever because this show is freaking gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
And it's one of those things where it's like it had the perfect exact amount of how much it needed. I don't know if that opinion's going to change when I see the movies. We'll see. I doubt I will be upset about that, or my opinion's going to change. But yeah.
I have a feeling
excited.
The movies are going to be just as, if not more, jaw-dropping in terms of the animation.
I have a good feeling they're going to be more, because even on streaming services, like when they get to do the movie, somehow it gets a billion times more budget. And I mean, it's like, normally I'd be like, okay, 10 to 2% raise, cool. But then you'll get a series that's like 13 episodes that will be the length of the movie they're going to put out. And then the movie they put out gets like 14 times the budget.
And in Japan, these are still theatrical movies, so
yeah,
they're gonna be some top shelf.
Yeah, and so yeah, it'll be cool. And to my knowledge, again, with all the watch orders I've seen, all these happen after the series, so that'll be interesting to do. We're gonna be, yeah, it'll be fun to do. I'm getting quite excited about that. There's other stuff coming up that came out in media today that I'm excited that we're going to be able to cover about a different show. But yeah, this has been fun. We're 2 away from being done with Violet. And again, even with this episode coming out, this series is still a 9.9 out of 10.
There's only been one gaffe.
One gaffe.
Yes, I'm still angry about it.
There's that one. And again, we don't know what happens in the movies.
Yeah.
If they somehow fix it in the movies, I'll still be irritated about how they handled it.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the movie gives him redemption.
Maybe. But
maybe they fixed him a bit.
I will still be irritated about how they handled it in the main series, regardless if they do.
I know, but like...
Yeah.
Know, if the movie takes place after, you know what I mean? Technically, he still has room for the redemption.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, all right. let's get on out of here because two of us have to work tomorrow. Where was it? Mike, go ahead.
All right, you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/Coach K42. And you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. We're also on YouTube. You can find us on Podchaser and the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
All right, and you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. Masao, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at KeepItLove028.
Cool. And until next time, which we will be seeing you with the movies for. Peace.